Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tales from the Forgotten Troop. We are just looking at Precious's face. We are here. It's finally here. Masks, Jukebox Justice, Session Zero. I'm very excited. And we have a new face who we will introduce shortly. But before we begin, a few announcements. If you are interested in supporting the show, we have a variety of ways to do so. There are literally so many ways. If you like buying stuff, we have affiliate links to many locations on our Beacons page. If you don't find anything that you want to buy but still want to show us some love, we have a coffee page so you can make a one-time donation, or you can become a monthly member and get access to exclusive content, which includes lots of bonus episodes, as well as some writing things, and may or may not include a Blake and Louis romance novel in the future, but you didn't hear it from me.
Louis!
If you are watching the VOD on YouTube, you can catch us every week on Twitch on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you would like to know how to tune in, you can follow us on Twitch or follow us on all of the social medias, also linked on our Beacons page, or join the Discord, because we have a Discord. If you weren't aware, we tell you every week, but we have a Discord and it's great. Okay, so yes, the game that we are delving into is Masks: A New Generation by Magpie Games. We will go through, yes, that one. And we'll go through and introduce everyone's characters in a minute, but we'll take care of the boring stuff first, which is the background of the setting and the era that we're going to be playing in. So, since our characters are going to be exploring the world of superheroes in the 1950s, the timelines for the old generations have shifted a bit. So the new generation was born from around the 40s to today. Well, today as in 1953, since that's when the game is taking place. The gold generation was the 1880s to 90s born, and these heroes participated in World War I, which was the biggest struggle of the time, largely due to more intense weapons that were brought into the conflict. I have a deep love for steampunk, so there are absolutely steampunk elements involved in that. And things didn't really start getting bad until the World War, because that was the first time with all the chemical weapons and stuff, heroes were getting seriously injured or killed. Silver Generation was 1900s to 1910s born. They were less worldly focused. After seeing the havoc of World War I, didn't want to get involved in too many political struggles since they thought they were too messy. But then we had some events happen because of the Great Depression, and people were getting desperate to make money. So that caused some uptick in crime. And there was that on some level impacted them to get involved, but never addressed the actual issues or the root of those problems. Just challenged them from a surface level.
These are the Gen X's of
yeah
superheroes.
Yeah.
Generation.
Yeah. They treated the symptoms, not the problem. And then the Bronze Generation was 1920s to 1930s born, and these heroes were involved in World War II, which made things even more messy and complex. They were largely dissatisfied with how the Silver Generation handled the Great Depression and were disillusioned by social issues and power. So this was compounded when the next World War started, plunging them into another turbulent political climate. So cynicism was at an all-time high, folks, and new identities and personas were created. pushing back against the established ideals that came before them. So, pre-rock and roll rebels, basically. And now all of you, as the next generation, are in a pretty interesting atmosphere because the war's over. The Cold War's started. Yeah,
Just begun.
The Cold War is ramping up. And there's
Pissing
a
contests.
basically, there is a large field that can potentially add they have a large sphere of influence that they can mold as they see fit and change how things are done. TV is more popular, images are more prominent, so it can be a little easier to make a mark on the world. And you have a lot of reference material to pull from when it comes to deciding what the future is going to look like. So, yeah. With it being the 1950s, we are going to have like a 21st century lens on it. So we're not going to deal with like rampant sexism or racism or homophobia. We're doing it for the aesthetic.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yep. And Halcyon's approach to superheroes isn't overly positive or negative. So as long as you don't cause more... Yes. Correct. As long as you don't cause more damage than necessary when handling important events, the city will welcome your help. That's weird. But as soon as, the destruction outweighs the benefit, someone's going to come calling. So, yeah, you have a lot of flexibility in molding public opinion towards your team. Great.
That's wonderful.
Great. That's
who's our PR person? Not it.
It might be me. It might be Sylvie.
Oh no.
Justice. Shit.
Okay. So now that's the end of the boring
I'm
stuff.
Retire the bat symbol forever.
No more superheroes. It's gonna be like the Incredibles all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go around and introduce all of you and what characters you're playing. So tell us the name of your character, tell us what playbook you're using, give a general description of what your character looks like. And I'd say we can go through your abilities, the backstory questions if none of them are like too secretive, and any moves and stuff, like if you had to pick certain moves or flares, since we have a Nova, let us know what they are. And then once we finish that, we can get into the rest of the team building stuff. So, Bree, take us away.
All right, I'm Brianna. I'm playing Cynthia Evans, otherwise known as Echo, using the Protégé playbook. In terms of look, she's got kind of an Audrey Hepburn-ish vibe, short reddish hair, green eyes, kind of a bit of a slight but athletic build. Identifies as woman, she, her pronouns, and wears either casual or fashionable clothes depending on the context, and her costume is currently patterned after her mentor's. The shared ability between her and her mentor is weapons and gadgets, and her personal ability is power mimicry. Details on how that works TBD. Her mentor's ability is telepathy and telekinesis. Her mentor is a Bronze Age hero, ? Going by the name of Hecate. Kind of with like a witch vibe. Yes. Hecate embodies the superior label and denies the danger label. In terms of backstory questions that I can answer, Cynthia first met Hecate when Cynthia was, when she was a small child, was thought to not have any powers whatsoever, but eventually just realized she wasn't really around people who had powers, with the exception of her sister. what happened was she went on a school trip of where Hecate works as a civilian in a research lab, and she was doing like the whole handshake thing, and Cynthia accidentally copied both telepathy and telekinesis at the same time, got overwhelmed by the telepathy aspect of that, and then telekinetically exploded everything in the lab that was made of glass. Thankfully, there was a fight going on outside the lab at the time, so it was not attributed to her, but they were able to cover it up, and only her mentor is the only person in her life aside from her sister who really knows that she has this, and she wants to keep it that way. Mentor chose to train her because this is a dangerous child that needs help, and we don't want that running around the city. And yeah, for most of her childhood, she was training with Hecate, probably going out and sidekicking younger than she probably should have been. But she's been doing this for a while, as per the Protege playbook. Yeah, aside of the team, her sister knows about her training, and her mentor, of course, knows about her training. Why does she care about the team? She doesn't really have friends, so this is weird and new for her, and she kind of likes it. All right, I'm trying to. Aside from moves, is there anything else on this that I should speak to now? Because I think that
I don't think so.
Influence stuff go later.
Yeah. Right.
All right. For the moves that she has been reading files. So you've learned about the superhuman world through Mentor's resources when you first encounter an important superhero phenomenon, roll on superior, and I can tell the GM things, and the GM can tell me things about that. So I've also got
secrets.
Captain. Yeah, yes. I've also got captain. So when we enter battle as a team, we carry an extra team. Or bring an extra team to the pool and carry +1 forward if I'm the leader. If I'm not the leader...
we know you have a cat, but what is the move?
Oh, okay. My cat is named Captain. Captain also carries +1 forward if he's the leader when he goes into battle. But since I get to pick 3, my third move is Fireside Chat, so I can seek out my mentor to ask for advice and potentially gain potential or other advancements through that. Or cause problems. And finally, for Mentor's resources, which I am bringing to the team, and some of which I'm sharing with you. We have a hidden base, which is beneath Cynthia's penthouse, which she has been exiled to after causing some drama with her family and ending up in the gossip pages. Because they're kind of well off, so there are society pages that are about them. Her vehicle is like, she's got a kind of souped up motorcycle from her mentor, and she's also got communicators, which we'll get to later. All right, I think that's all from me.
Excellent. Okay. Everyone remembers Tess from our You're Not a Wizard playtest, so take it away.
So I will be playing Sylvie Odendaughter, and she goes by Valkyrie in her superhero form. I'm using the Outsider playbook, and identifies as female, she, her, for the most part. Occasionally that might change because her powers are pheromones, and she has radical shapeshifting because she is not human and very much a fairy from the Wild Hunt, and definitely a little bit of a superiority complex in regards to humans. What she looks like, she's very much a femme fatale aesthetic to go with those pheromones that she loves to. And long, wavy, dark brown hair, and very unusual eyes of like slightly pink in coloration, pink violet, and then very much a predatory movement pattern. She doesn't quite fit in with the humans around her. You definitely
Body snatcher.
You definitely get the vibe that something is not right with her. As for...
I don't actually.
Maybe not.
Natural 1 on perception.
Love that.
Just gonna. Yep.
Yeah. Totally works.
Slowly.
Yeah. Backstory wise, besides being from the Wild Hunt, she kind of got exiled because, or partially because she wasn't doing too great in her role, was not snatching enough humans, but also, so they were like, maybe you need a refresher course on understanding what humans are, but also humans have recently developed several concerning levels of weaponry that I feel like the fairy might want researched. So, for what reason she won't disclose, but she doesn't really talk much about what she comes from, so the team doesn't really know.
We just know
fully
you as the
who
one
she
weird
is.
member.
Yeah. And she
One?
Where are you from? Somewhere over there. Just
You
vaguely
get-
points to the woods.
you get, yeah, basically vaguely points to the woods. Sometimes she'll hint at being Scandinavian, but like it's not really, you don't believe it for at all. Like she's designed as such, but she doesn't quite ring true. And her team will never learn it, but she sticks with them because they're her humans. And anyone who touches her humans is gonna get fucked up. Basically.
Her humans. I love
this.
it.
Oh,
Let me
man.
just make
My
a note
beloved
here.
pet humans. I will kill you if you are
They have adopted these humans.
They are mine.
They're
Mine.
Do not touch them.
Oh my god,
Um,
yes.
So
And then for her
anyone who
moves-
touches Sylvia's humans will get fucked up.
or she will do her best to somehow.
Force you to ruin your own life.
It's fine. So move wise, I have Between Two Worlds, which is you have the resources that come with your station. When you contact your people, roll plus superior on a 10 plus. Basically, I can quiz my people to get information. So I can either receive a useful piece of alien technology that will allow you to use any ability from another playbook. Once. Consult your people's knowledge to ask the GM a question about the current situation or a clear condition. And then I took alien tech, which allows me to use my alien ways to alter a human device. I can create a device that will, on a hit, that will do something impossible once and then fizzle. And then, but if I miss, the device works, but it has a completely unintended side effect that the GM can reveal at any point, which I thought was fitting because it's fairies. And the last thing I took was Kirby Craft, which is my motorcycle.
Yes.
Yes. Join our
Yes.
biker gang.
Which it's you have a vehicle, something from your home, which actually is a giant stag from the Wild Hunt that can camouflage itself and look like a motorbike, but it looks very
Perfect.
Yes.
I love
very
it.
deadly and not
A
right
plus.
because like the handlebars are the antlers and they're very spiky, and it may or may not be able to bite people in its bike form. It doesn't like other people.
Oh man.
Perfect.
I love this.
Did that motorcycle just bite me?
No, it did
Next
not.
questions.
I'm pretty certain your bike is eating that bench.
No, no. Next question, Your Honor.
Nah, it was like that already.
I plead the fifth.
Beyond its
It was like that when I
chameleon
found it.
It
It's
is
street art.
extremely
Just don't worry about
fast
it.
and maneuverable. But unfortunately, because it is a deer, it does have a bizarre fuel source that is probably some kind of fey food. And because it is a living and natural being, it is difficult to repair. It takes damage.
That
Do
tracks.
not bring that into Roxy's shop.
No.
Can
That-
you fix my motorbike / thing? No.
I'm not a
I feel like this
veterinarian.
isn't my job. I feel like you need a vet for this.
Yeah. I am not qualified.
And that's about it for right now on me.
Cool. Okay, Jenna.
All right. So, I'm Jenna. Hi, everybody. I'll be playing Roxy DeMarco, she, her pronouns. Roxy is I'm taking the Bull playbook. So Roxy is about 4'10", 4'11" on a tall day. And like maybe just over 100 pounds. Very small. person, but can lift a lot. She works as a mechanic, so she's an actual greaser. And her brother owns the shop that she works at. She kind of has mostly a casual aesthetic, wearing her like coveralls or like just jeans and like a shirt. She usually ties her hair into a bandana. She's got like dark, it's like black hair, pale skin, and she's got like fringe bangs, like it's usually her hair is usually tied up in a bandana. Very rockabilly style. That's the aesthetic that she's going for, is rockabilly. So her hero name is Calamity. It's not because she wrecks everything. So let's see, what else do we need here? Oh, going through the background questions. So who changed Roxy? So Roxy got her powers because she used some hairspray that was tainted with some sort of radioactive chemical from a hairspray plant that might be covering some evil deeds that they're doing. And they might have gotten some chemicals mixed up. And she accidentally got a dose of radioactive hairspray. And yeah. And now she's like super duper strong. So she ended up they recalled this hairspray and she brought it back to the hairspray plant where they promptly put her into some sort of incarceration in the basement, whatever. Oh, well, not the basement, but like there's like an area for that at the evil hairspray plant, whatever. And
We've got an area for that.
an area for that. And so how she escaped from them was by running into a wall very hard, and then there was a Roxy shaped hole in the wall, and then she just walked out. She kind of shrugged her shoulders and was like, all right,
Looney
this
Tunes
works
character.
too.
That's normal.
Cartoon physics.
So who tries to take care of her? So her brother is like kind of like typical big bro, like always watching out for Roxy. He's a couple years older. His name is Tony. And she also is pretty close with her grandfather who lives with her parents. His name is Grandpa Les. He may or may not be a therapist.
He's wise beyond his years.
So we will be needing all of his experience at some point.
And he has a very cute dog, and his name is Gus. And yes. And that's important. I don't know why, but it's just important.
We love Gus.
So Roxy tries to be a hero because that's what her friends are doing. And, like
peer pressure.
I guess you should help people and stuff. I guess. Yeah, she's like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing today. Like, that's the just activity that they chose. Like, we'll just save the city. It's fine. Okay. So she just kind of like went along with it. And why does she care about the team? Well, because they're her friends. Hello. And yeah, so she's Roxy's not the brightest bulb. She's pretty oblivious to a lot of things. They weren't lying when she said she has a natural one on perception. That's pretty on point for her. Highly emotional intelligence. Regular intelligence is lacking. She's good at mechanical stuff though. And yeah, so her moves are, she also has a motorcycle. Betty Crocker. It's important that you use that name. And she has a car that is named Polly Rocket. Because it might be an Oldsmobile Rocket 88. All right. Anyways. Her her moves are physics. What physics? And that one is when you unleash your powers to barrel through an insurmountable barrier, roll plus danger instead of freak. And then her other move is in a china shop. And when you directly engage a threat, you can cause significant collateral damage to your environment to choose an additional option, even on a miss. So, sorry in advance, we're going to get a lot of bad PR.
You might not want Sylvie in charge of your PR. Just saying.
I mean, you could put Roxy in charge. She'd just be like, I don't know what happened. That building just came down. I don't know. It wasn't because I ran through the structural integrity of it.
Because that was just obviously structurally unsound. Come on.
I think they were cutting corners.
That had to be condemned. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
And Roxy's family, she doesn't realize it. So my only secrets are from myself. Probably most people realize what her family's into. Her dad is involved in organized crime. He's like a enforcer. He's not like high level. He maybe middleman at best. You know, he's not like, they're not like rich. They're not like Cynthia rich or anything. But like, you know, they're whatever. She has no idea though, just completely oblivious to it. So that's Roxy. She's a sweet cinnamon roll. Protect her at all costs. All right, that's it.
I feel like we need to protect the rest of the world.
I was gonna say protect Roxy when she can pretty much break anyone. What?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, literally, like, these people from the Hairspray factory are trying to, like, re-apprehend her, but she just, like, dumb lucks her way through, like, getting out of those encounters by, like, slamming a door open on a car that she's working on and knocking out somebody who's trying to, like, apprehend her.
Accidentally knock them out.
Not even realize it. Throwing a wrench aside. And
I don't need this wrench.
She's completely oblivious, and other people are like, oh my god, these people are, I don't know, he's just there, he's unconscious, I don't know what happened. I don't know.
It's actually pretty good entertainment. Mystery.
Yeah.
The stag, I am ruling the stag is very protective of Roxy.
It's
an angry motorbike going after people.
This
Chasing
bike
people
that's
around
just
the
sitting in the
garage.
shop that Roxy never touches is just biting.
Anyone who gets too close.
Look at this
I
one
love it.
goon sneaking up on her. It's like its hand on the bike, and then the bike just like.
And they're missing a hand. I don't know what happened.
Yes.
So that's Roxy.
Love it. All right. We can just skip over our new person. No. Welcome.
No, I should be last.
No, you could be next. Welcome, Crow. New member.
Hello, people of the internet. I am Mr. Crow. You can just call me Crow. I would say where you could find me on the internet, but this is basically it, unless you're on Discord. So
extra incentive to join the Discord.
Yes. For our entertainment, I will be playing Jonah Joe Hatathley, aka Watchdog. I shall be the Janus. Let's see here. He, him, identifies as a man. He is half Navajo, somewhat of a known name in Halcyon, because his stepfather's kind of a big deal charitable donation. And his step-grandfather is a massive asshole who has made his living scamming people out of their money as a stockbroker, essentially. So family situation is interesting, we'll say. His abilities are supernatural senses and substance mimicry. The substance he is mimicking is wolf. He is a werewolf.
What element on the periodic table? Wolf.
Yep. It's a woo. So yeah, going down the backstory list here. First time, well, putting on the mask is kind of a rough term here, because, you know, Joe was a werewolf before this happened. but his first incident of heroism was a couple of communist sympathizers decide, hey, let's kidnap the mayor's daughter from Joe's college. And it turned out Joe's girlfriend was in the same classroom, and he was like, "Oh, that's not happening." So he went Wolfman and kicked some ass. But because he's a werewolf, he doesn't really look like himself whilst he is using his powers, so no one knows. And he was like, that was actually pretty fun. I think I'll keep doing this. Let's see. Why do I keep a secret identity? He wouldn't outright state this, but it's pretty obvious. Joe is incredibly paranoid in ruining his and his family's reputation. Because his persona is like a monster on the good guy's side. Like, his werewolf form is frightening. We'll get into like specific details like as the game goes on, but like he looks like a monster. And to a certain degree acts like it. Part of it's performance, part of it's, the wolf inside. But we'll get to that. But yeah, he is like absolutely just devoted to keeping these two parts of his life separate as much as he can. Because he just knows if things meet, it's going to be oil and water, potassium in the bathtub. It's not going to go well. For those of you who don't know, potassium explodes when it's supposed to work.
I just picked who put potassium in a bathtub. That's what I want to know.
Busters did that once.
I
I remember
who
that.
learned that, just like
That
what
sounds-
happened.
That sounds like a murder mystery title or something. Like just
Potassium.
Potassium in the bathtub.
bathtub. Check your periodic table.
It was Colonel Mustard in the bathroom with the potassium. Should have called him Colonel Banana.
Yes, I
Goodness.
was gonna say.
All right.
either way, he's yellow.
Who outside the
Yes.
team knows about your dual identity? A few folks. The team wouldn't know most of them, I would think. I suppose. Well, it's a secret from Roxy.
Yeah.
But Roxy's brother knows that Joe is a
Oh.
werewolf, a superhero, because he is also a werewolf.
You turned my brother into a werewolf?
I did not turn him. I will not be revealing what exactly the situation is there, but
The
Joe
bike
stopped.
bit you both, and now you're werewolves, and that's what happened.
Wouldn't that
I've seen
be
this
weird,
episode
dear?
of Futurama.
I don't know what happened. Joe just recently started hanging around the shop for some reason. It's weird. Weird that.
The bro of my bro is my bro.
But
Wow.
fair enough.
Why'd you bring this preppy kid here? Jeez.
He looks very clean for this
Oh
shop.
yeah, I suppose I didn't really mention what Joe kind of looks like. He is sort of the stereotypical jock. Like he wears his Letterman jacket like 99% of the time, and it's just like blue jeans and nice shoes otherwise, and like a nice collared shirt maybe if he needs to like quote unquote dress up. Like he is very stereotypically jock and like golden boy jock, like completely unproblematic. Like yeah, I'm the football captain. I'm here to be everybody's friend. And meanwhile, his like second string backup is in the background, like, I know you mixed practice, you motherfucker.
I love it.
I was saving the city, assholes.
Well, nobody knows.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the big person who would know his secret identity is his girlfriend, Henrietta Henry Johnson.
Yes.
She is kind of his like confidant in a lot of things. I won't say too much about her, but she is not too concerned about Joe's situation for reasons, which will be explored later.
Very
She's
specific.
also a werewolf.
I will say she's not a werewolf. She's not a werewolf.
Not a werewolf.
She's a werestag.
That's gonna be the new theme of this campaign. It's just like, who's the werewolf? Plot twist, we're
that is a
actually
game.
playing. Yeah, I was gonna say plot twist, we're actually
We're
playing One
playing
Night Ultimate Werewolf.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, who thinks the worst of your masked identity? Definitely his grandfather, because again, massive asshole. Probably a fair few other heroes in the city, because he doesn't kill people, but he's not exactly gentle with criminals. Like he's a brawler. He will wreck people like to take them down, and claws. what happens with claws.
It's fine.
Roxy's
I feel
also
like-
not gentle, but it's not because she doesn't mean to be gentle with them. It just
Yeah,
happens.
you're running on cartoon physics. My guy's running on edge.
Sylvia's
yeah,
also
yeah.
probably fairly violent given her history, so
Wow, we've
And
just got a
shape-shifting,
great track
it's
record
fine.
thus far. Goodness.
yeah.
I feel like
We're
I
gonna
need
get
to
in so much
emphasize.
trouble.
I feel like I need to
we
emphasize
probably
that-
need to hire a PR person.
That's our first arc. We're hiring a PR person.
Cynthia
As
is the
your heroes,
PR
you're
person
not
because
killers.
Cynthia's probably the PR person because I imagine she's concerned with the appearing legitimacy or the appearance and legitimacy of the team.
Probably.
Also, we
Yep,
might
yeah.
need your dad to get us out of some trouble.
He ran on a anti-hero presence in the city campaign, so I don't think that's gonna work. Also,
Well-
he doesn't know what she does.
We need Joe's
Ooh.
stepdad.
Awkward.
He doesn't know what Joe does.
Have you
Sylvie's
considered
old.
getting a new dad?
Semantics.
Sylvie
If-
probably has amassed a little
if
bit
you
of a
want-
fortune, so
if you
she could
want
help.
PR help, Hecate's the one you want to talk to
True.
because she's got money
Trouble with
and
the
she's
lawyer.
got
Grandpa Les.
influence.
Elena's mom for everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say Natalie.
Just
Oh,
like,
I was
man.
gonna say.
Natalie, help! Help me!
And then final question here: why do you care about the team? A few different reasons.
Black man.
The first one is that Joe is like, he's an athlete, he's a football player, so he sees the value in a team for basically any sort of action. He's also
life.
like, he's not stupid. He's not like the brightest bulb on the tree, but he's not stupid to the fact that, you know, he can be a little rough. So maybe he does need some folks to like, you know, rein him in a little bit. Also, he is telling Henry everything that's happening, and she is living 100% vicariously through him. She loves this.
Yes.
He's doing it to impress his girlfriend. That's
Oh
amazing.
my God.
To a degree, yeah. Let's see here. As for my moves, I of course have the mask. My chosen label is Danger. Scary werewolf man.
Yes.
Also picked up Game Face. When you commit yourself to save someone or defeat a terrible enemy, mark a condition and take +1 ongoing to all rolls in direct pursuit of that goal. At the end of any scene in which you don't make progress towards that goal, mark a condition. When you fulfill your goal, mark potential. So that's essentially the let's get this shit done mode. And I suppose I should probably read the masks too for folks who aren't familiar with the system. You wear a mask to hide your real identity. Choose what label you tried to embody while wearing your mask. Danger. Once per session, you can affirm either your heroic or secret identity to switch your mundane and your mask label. When you reveal your secret identity to someone who didn't know it already, mark potential. Like, everything in this book revolves around me revealing my secret identity to people to get potential, I'm realizing. So I'm like expecting to like reveal that to someone and just get like 5 potential off the bat. Like, it's insane. And then my other move is mild-mannered. When you try to use your civilian identity to deceive, trick, or slip past someone, roll plus mundane. On a hit, they buy your facade. On a 7 to 9, choose 1. You're still under observation. You leave something incriminating behind. You're forced to make a fool of yourself to sell it. On a miss, one of your civilian obligations rears its ugly head. And in regards to that, since I do have a pretty hefty secret identity, I've got some obligations. The first obligation has already been mentioned. That would be Henry. Despite the fact that she's kind of in the loop, you know, still gotta maintain the relationship, show affection and whatnot. Remember the anniversary. The next one I've actually also mentioned. That is going to be Tony, because Joe pretty regularly visits him, generally during the full moon. Weird that.
That's totally normal.
Yep.
It's fine.
And then
have not
finally,
noticed anything.
Joe is the star quarterback for a football team in Halcyon, the Seagull University Seagulls. So he needs to attend games and practices and whatnot. And of course, make sure that no one on the team suspects anything. Though, as previously mentioned, his second string backup is not a big fan of his. So we'll see what comes of that. But otherwise, yeah, aside from the stuff that we'll be doing together, I think that about covers it for Joe.
Can't wait to see how many people are angry about the fact that we have an actual werewolf and a fairy.
Well, those people are no fun.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. And rounding off our team of heroes, Maria.
I'm Maria. I'm playing Elena Dietrich Howell using the Nova playbook. Her superhero name is Easy Living. We don't have to. The footage doesn't exist of me debating on which song to pick, so you'll never know what my other choice was.
It was a pretty cool choice, though.
It was, but now it doesn't make
Coffee
any sense.
exclusive content.
Is
Oh,
You
we can make it.
go.
I thought we deleted it.
Just refilm it.
Before World War II, Elena lived with her actual mom in a small apartment in outside of Halcyon City. I just picked an actual city in Germany. I don't know if Germany exists in this world.
Yes.
But she doesn't
I would hope Germany
know
still
who her
exists.
dad was, but he's a space
World War II.
scientist in Halcyon City. She has no idea. And then during all of the fun, super cool, fun war bombings, their apartment was destroyed, and that's when Elena's powers like ticked on for the first time. She thinks she caused her mom's death, but it was just an accident. But she did escape. She did make her way to Halcyon City, where she heard there were heroes, other people with mysterious powers. And fortunately, there was a wealthy family who was willing to just pretend she's long lost relative. We want a kid. You're a kid. All right, let's go.
Perfect fit.
Yeah.
Now wear these clothes.
So she was adopted by the Howells, Jim and Natalie. They are old money. Originally from like oil and all that other cool stuff, and now banks. Her adopted grandfather owns. Well, I mean, no, he's dead. Sure, why not? He's dead. He owns the biggest
We
bank
killed
in
him, just like-
Halcyon City, which is aptly named the Halcyon City Bank. He's not very he wasn't a creative old man. He was a rich old man. Her adopted mom is a social planner, and it's not like a paid thing. It's just you come to this party to be seen kind of situation. So she likes to plan parties. She likes to bring Elena along and go to parties and bring Elena along. And she's the only other person outside of Elena's friends who is aware of her superpowers, because she elected herself the costume designer. So Elena's costume isn't very functional because it's supposed to be fashion. Eventually she'll get a functioning fashion one though.
Yeah.
What else?
What about a
My-
fashionably functional one?
Someday, hopefully. My burns, my flares, I got 4 flares. I picked Reality Storm. You channel a destructive burst with your powers. If you do this, you will cause unwanted collateral damage unless I spend another point. Shielding, you call up fast protective field to stop a danger, defend somebody from an immediate threat. I can move myself anywhere within the scene, breaking through or slipping past any barriers or restraints in my way, and then I can spend an additional burn point to move back to where I was. And then my last one is overcharge. I channel the full capacity of my powers to overcome an obstacle, reshape my environment, or extend your senses. Oh, and for my specific move set, I went with gravity manipulation because that makes sense. It's the only one that made sense in my brain. So
Sure.
many other options.
Okay. Is that it for you?
Yeah, much.
Rich folks in
Alright.
this team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have pretend land, you're gonna be
Being-
rich.
Being a superhero is expensive.
Expensive. All these costumes.
True.
Costumes, costume repairs,
Yeah.
new tech like motorcycle repairs.
Oh yeah. She doesn't.
bribing
Elena
people
doesn't
so
have
they
a
don't
car.
spill your secrets.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention
That's
that Joe does
important.
have a car from his stepfather, but
She-
that's
can
Not
use
going
a
on superhero
car.
stuff.
She knows how to drive. She doesn't have a motorcycle. She doesn't have a car. She has access to a car in the Howells fleet, but it's unladylike to drive. So she just rides with Roxy.
Fair.
Takes the sidecar.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
rides right behind on the motorcycle.
Long hair flowing.
Yep.
Okay. So now we can get into when the team first came together. So the first question that needs to be answered is from the bowl. We defeated a dangerous enemy. Who or what was it? Jenna, you're muted.
It was a lizard man that escaped from the hairspray factory through the Roxy size hole that was made when she so accidentally escaped. And apparently he was one of their like chemical lab experiments.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
From the Nova book. We destroyed our surroundings in the fight. Where was it? What did we destroy?
The factory that Roxy escaped from. Because we were fighting in the around and in it.
Around and in it.
Yeah.
So we're saying like this fight happened immediately after Roxy's escape here.
Yeah.
Like we were just all in the street. She just comes busting through the wall.
Like, those are bad people. Let's wreck their shit. Okay.
Well, Cynthia could have like maybe through Hecate had like a tip of something dirty
Lured
going on in
everybody.
this factory, so that's why she'd be there. And then
Roxy just bursts
Roxy-
out of the side
Roxy
of the building.
burst out. Joe was probably like going along the street and then it's like, oh, good Samaritan time. I gotta intervene and save this poor woman.
I need a phone
who's-
booth. I need a suit up.
Who's literally like invulnerable and has the strength.
Yeah.
Like super
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah.
Well, he
Not
doesn't. He
invulnerable,
doesn't. He
just
didn't know that.
super- Yeah.
Maybe
All I know is I
Elena
just saw
was
somebody come through a wall.
maybe Elena was just trying to get away from the socialite life for a bit, and then
She's taking a walk in the city.
Sylvie
Yeah.
was probably helping you get away from the socialite life.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's probably you got
I'm just
introduced
gonna
at some
go
point.
take a walk
Yeah.
with a friend. Bye.
Yeah, Sylvie was like, "Yeah, let's ditch these guys. I'm bored."
it's perfect. It works. That's how you all just like happen upon each other.
Yeah. Bored.
Yeah, I hate humans. It's fine.
I hate humans, but this is my human.
Yeah,
Go
this
away.
is my particular.
These humans
human.
are particularly interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're taking your human on a walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Or was it all an elaborate ruse set up by Cynthia to form a superhero team?
Yeah, basically.
The world may never know.
Now Bree's character gets the 3D chessboard.
Yes.
Well, I stop at 3Ds.
Yu-Gi-Oh 5D?
Let's not start that again.
I mean, we are all on motorcycles.
I'm never
Oh,
gonna
you're
let
not
Yu-
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna let Yu-Gi-Oh die.
We need to get Joe a motorcycle.
Or Cheetos. Cheetos and Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the perfect first
Cheetos and
date. You don't know.
Yep.
God. What's the next question?
It's from the Outsider book. We didn't trust each other at first, but that changed. How? Why?
Well, I feel like Sylvia was just like, what the hell is going on? Like, I have to protect my human that is like right here that I'm taking for a walk.
I was,
And now
it was
there's
a
all
fine
of
day.
these other angry humans. But I think more so once that there were like, because I'm assuming Roxy's being chased and there is a clear like these ones are like the worst humans versus the like other humans.
Which are the more
It's all very
evil
confusing.
humans.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, Sylvie doesn't quite understand, but like Sylvie decided to pick a side, and she likes the underdogs more so than or what appear to be the underdogs. I feel like these were classic mooks, so it's
One of them is
They were
actually a dog.
Literally.
so like Sylvie picked one group, and she was like, "I'm sticking with this group. The other ones, like, they're chasing, and well, now they're slightly irritating me, so they're in my trap now. Let's see how they feel like when they're getting hunted. I don't know how the rest of you decided that you
Ooh.
trusted people, but
I just trust people.
I mean, that kind of sounds like you could extend it to like we all saw a common cause and
Yeah.
like recognized a active threat kind
yeah,
of just happened. We're
Yeah,
able to like intuit that we
definitely.
were all on the same side.
kind of happenstance bystanders versus
I mean,
these clearly less than on the up and up people.
Roxy trusts people until they prove that they shouldn't be trusted, like the hairspray people. Like, she just brought the hairspray back, and then it was like, that was rude. Why am I in this cell now?
Oh,
So she doesn't
my
trust
God.
them anymore.
Well, fair. Oh man.
Okay. From the Janice book, we saved the life of someone important, either to the city or to us. Who was it? Why are they important?
I feel like the stereotypical answer here is the mayor, but let's maybe try something different. This is like in a industrial area, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how about this? And maybe this sort of ties into why we started trusting each other. Because there's another NPC related to Joe's backstory. I'm not going to reveal how, but she is a superhero, the Iron Maiden, who's kind of a big deal in Halcyon. I'm kind of thinking like she got her start in World War II and like made a big splash as like a really like stand-up sort of hero. Maybe initially she gets involved in this, and like is trying to take down Lizard Man. Lizard Man gets the leg up on her and goes for the kill, and we all rush in and basically Zerg rush this thing to give her like the final shot. So we ended up like saving her life. And it's like, that's a good way to like indicate that you're all heroes, like one of the biggest heroes in Halcyon, and you jump to their defense.
I like it.
Good PR.
Yep.
We're gonna need that.
You're gonna need that.
A lot.
We're gonna call her a lot to be like,
She's gonna block our number.
We need some help with this because we wrecked something again.
Hey, we broke another building.
God
Ugh.
Again,
damn
days
it.
since last building destruction.
Zero.
Yes,
It just says 0 all the time. We never change it.
There are no other labels. It's just yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Like I like to think in the secret base that Cynthia has, there's just a sign that says days since last PR disaster.
That's us.
She will occasionally
are the
judgingly
PR
point at it
disaster.
like
It was the PR disasters we made along the way.
We were the
You're not
PR
wrong.
disaster all along.
oh man.
Is that what the team name is going to be? Just the PR disasters?
disaster.
I feel like that's bad PR on its own.
Yeah.
We just gave
Just
up.
a little
Like,
bit.
yeah, fuck it.
All right. And finally, our last question from the Protege book. We stuck together after all was said and done. Why? How'd we keep in contact?
So not initially. Everybody went their separate ways. Cynthia went back to Hecate to report on what happened with that tip, and she got there, and Hecate's basically like has the news footage on the TV and is like, seriously. Cynthia managed to convince her that, hey, these are a lot of superhero powered people who could potentially be the future of the city. Also, I'm kind of lonely and want friends. So
I need a team because I need friends.
so
Please, Supermom, can I have some friends, please?
a little bit.
Oh,
I'm not saying that Cynthia's never accidentally called Hecate mom, but
Aw.
Hecate was like, okay, well, if you want friends, you're the one who was putting together the communicators to make this work. She did like pitch in supplies and some help with the design, but since one of Cynthia's abilities is weapons and gadgets, she's kind of a bit of a small tech expert. So she put them together and kind of sussed out everybody's identities, because some people don't wear costumes that particularly hide who they are. And yeah, that is you.
It's me.
That's also you.
Hi,
Some people
I'm the
particularly
problem,
stand
it's
out.
me.
Some people particularly stand out because they go around saying they're Scandinavian, but very clearly aren't. And,
Oh yeah, I'm
We
from
all think we're not
Sweden.
very obvious, but we're all obvious as fuck.
and some people Cynthia kind of has been side-eyeing since they wouldn't go along with her shenanigans at certain society parties. And are werewolves.
You set the curtain
They're
on fire.
werewolves.
I'm
That's how you
sorry,
gotta
but I
make
gotta
those
tell
ideas.
I gotta tell your mom at that point. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you bring me,
I mean,
to
if
a
you told
high
Hecate,
society
she'd be
party-
fine with it, but you told my real mom. Ugh. Anyways,
Hey.
so Cynthia individually went to everybody and brought them the communicators, basically in a team meetings on Wednesday, show up or you're a loser kind of way. And it kind of just went from there.
excellent.
What
Okay.
does communicators look like, out of curiosity? Because I don't think that technology technically existed by this point. Like, I
They're
don't
not
know how
super
small
long
radios
range.
were at
This
this
No,
is
point.
it's
They're
Charlie and
walkie-
I
Like a walkie-talkie.
Charlie and I
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
out some logistics for how functional they actually are considering the tech level. We do have a little bit of wiggle room since Hecate's day job is in like tech and is slightly more advanced than I think what you might expect for the time period, because comic book logic.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So there's a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah,
Comic book physics,
superheroes-
Yeah, it's fine.
Superheroes have access to like slightly more advanced technology, but things could even get crazier if you get your hands on like some alien tech. So just throwing that out there.
Or
Not me
fairy
taking
tale.
Kirby
What
Craft
if-
as my other playbook advancement.
What if we just have cups with strings?
Somewhere in
Very
like the
long
team meeting room,
strings.
Cynthia's just like, no. Takes 2 pieces of bread. What are you? You're adorable, but
I'm not gonna say that. So who still has, now that we've determined how the team first came together, who still has relationships they need to
I
figure out
have
all of us, I
one
believe.
relationship because I know I'm learning a lot about humans from Elena because she is now my human.
okay.
That's how we started out.
edited mine. Elena hangs out with Roxy and Sylvie to blow off steam because they're a lot of fun and very different from the socialite gang Natalie tried to push on her.
I
And
think you
Elena
can
isn't
technically
entirely
only
sure
pick-
Sylvia won't eat somebody accidentally on purpose to see how they taste. She's very concerned on the people eating, but it's probably not going to happen. But what if they taste good? How do we know they don't? You can't eat people.
Oh my god. Okay, so just to clarify,
That would be a PR.
Elena
That-
blows off steam with Sylvia and Roxy?
And yeah,
Okay.
because I already had Roxy in there. It's
Ah.
like I should edit these, add some people.
And Sylvia is hanging out with Elena
She's-
to get to know more about
She's learning
the world.
Yeah.
humans.
I'm making notes, so
Yeah.
My second relationship, I once hurt Joe and losing control of my powers while we were training.
Okay. Well, that's actually not too big of an issue. Joe's got minor healing factor
Yeah,
just
he's
because,
strong boy.
constantly growing and regrowing flesh.
Strong. Mimicking the
strong
substance of
dog.
werewolf.
Yep.
The substance of wolf.
Accidentally
Uh,
picked him up and threw him like 50 feet.
We were 100% trying to pull
I
like some
do
sort of
that all the
maneuver,
time,
and you
it's
just
fine.
like fired me a little too hard into the wall.
Through the
Yeet.
goalposts.
Yep.
Field
We were
goal.
playing a game. It's called Yeet Joe.
Let's not play that.
I can turn Roxy into like an actual wrecking ball now.
You
Just
probably
pick her
could.
up
You
and
should probably eat me next time.
Oh my god.
throw her at a building.
Eat,
Oh my God.
eat the bull.
Let's quit our job as superheroes and become a demolition crew.
Honestly,
Sounds
we're better
great.
at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say just become like put together a whole like circus act.
That's true. We
do
could.
that.
I could shapeshift into whatever the fuck we need. And then
The stag become an elephant.
yeah.
Oh, you could
Yeah.
be a
Well,
lion
no,
tamer.
well, yeah, the steak. Yeah. I could be a lion.
You could be
It's
the
fine.
yeah, the lion taming lion.
Two lions, both alike in dignity.
In fair Halcyon, where we lay our scene.
City. We do this every campaign.
This is true.
Just
It never
derail
gets
all
old.
of Charlie's plans and just do something silly.
That's basically what we do every time too. Yeah.
It's oh hey, this time I can just blow something up and it's fine. This will get your
Railroad us
attention.
back.
Okay.
Blow up the actual railroad.
All right, so
Tie
who's got
someone to the train
questions
tracks.
yet?
Blondie.
Okay. So I do have one other relationship, but I kind of want to reflavor it because we already went with the My Humans thing. So one of the relationships is you have a crush on blank, but you keep it under wraps. Can I just say it like I am just incredibly possessive of my entire team. I don't know if it's a crush or what it is, but it's just like these are mine now and it does not matter, but none of them will ever hear me say that.
These are human emotions
Sure.
that I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. I was like, I don't know how much wiggle room I have there, but I feel like it fits with what I've said previously.
It's fine. We'll just throw the rules out the window. Who needs rules?
Not us.
Not this team.
obviously.
We break the rules, just like we break buildings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who needs buildings?
If the rules suck, just punch them in the face. Fine.
Blondie.
It's fine. We're just gonna be a giant polycule at the end of this anyway. It's fine.
Fine, it's fine.
Joe's got to go, friend.
She's invited too.
She
It's
can
fine.
join too.
Oh man,
I'm not sure my poor boy's ready for that. I'm gonna be perfectly honest.
that's valid. That's fair. That's fair.
It's okay. We have time. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. So for my relationships, I definitely got one filled out. Roxy knew me from civilian life 100%.
Yeah.
Because you like saw Joe come into your shop and meeting with Tony before anything having to do with Watchdog. The other one, you refused to tell Blank your secret identity when they asked. Now the thing is, Echo knows who Joe is, but I don't know if the rest of the team does. I feel like he'd be pretty protective of that, so I think this kind of comes down to who's most likely to ask him, like when he shows up for like a team meeting.
Roxy, maybe, because she knows who he is outside of this.
She's stupid. She won't know.
She might not put that. She might not put that together.
It's just like,
Yeah, it could be Elena because she hangs out at the garage with Roxy.
yeah, Elena's
Like,
probably more perceptive.
You're not the same person. Okay.
Those jeans, I saw
Those-
them on a werewolf earlier today.
I've seen that Letterman jacket before on a werewolf. That's really weird.
Those those
exact
rips and those
outfit.
jeans look. Er.
Oh my god.
I don't know what you're
Sylvie
talking about.
also might ask just because, again, she's possessive of her team and wants to make sure they're okay.
Ooh,
Also
that
know
And
who
knowing
they
their
are.
civilian identity would.
Oh, I could actually also
I need
just
to
see
know
that being
your real
really,
identity.
really interesting because if Sylvia knows who like Roxy is out of costume, being like, "Who's this person approaching my human?"
Yeah, that too.
Roxy's
gosh.
costume is
He
not.
hates Joe, but is completely possessive of Watchdog. That's great.
Yes.
That's actually great.
love it.
The
I
bike
love that.
bites
Yep.
you
Absolutely.
constantly in the shop.
Yeah, the bike hates you.
'Cause I feel like our civilian hangout is the shop, and then our superhero hangout is below the penthouse. So like,
For what
in
it's
the
worth,
shop.
I don't think anyone's ever seen Cynthia in the actual secret base without her costume on. Let's see.
that's fair.
So are you saying we probably wouldn't know your identity?
No, you know her identity. The book pretty much says you know her identity. But
Just
people who
safe
know
in costume in the resource places.
yeah,
She also doesn't want to
because
accidentally touch us when we're going on hero business because.
oh yeah, it's worth noting Cynthia's pretty much always wearing gloves because she's mostly good at controlling the power copying, but like she doesn't want to pat somebody on the shoulder and accidentally freak the fuck out because she isn't good at controlling their power.
Yeah, if Joe had any idea how your power worked, he probably would be like, maybe don't touch me.
I
That might
Especially on
end
the full
bad.
moon.
How does,
I think
yeah, how
what's
does that?
probably happened is she's copied everyone's power at least once just for testing purposes. Might have more experience with them than other powers, but like the go-to ones that she normally has are either her mentors, which is telekinesis, telepathy, or her sister has a healing factor, which is what she copies when she can't be super obvious about things.
Roxy also, it's worth noting, Roxy also, I decided, because, so, like, as the bull, you can either, like, take, like, invulnerability. I mean, she's more durable than a normal, like, person. Like, walking through a wall doesn't break her bones. So, it's obviously more durable, but instead of being, like, bulletproof, I thought it would be more interesting to have a healing factor. So, more like X-23 from Marvel. Then, I mean, except for the claws. I don't have claws. I just have guns. Little guns that do big damage.
The other, speaking of healing factors, though, the other reason Cynthia is always in costume in the base is because she has various labs and equipment down there for building her supplies. And some people don't understand lab safety, but
Probably
yes,
Sylvie.
that is literally
Sylvie.
everybody on the team except for her.
Elena wouldn't want to like ruin her nice clothes, so she
Okay,
like
that's
have
fair.
the coat and the gloves and the goggles.
But like make it look cute.
Yeah. Well, she
Yeah.
doesn't. That's
She has a
bedazzled
fashion.
them.
She has a fashion.
Natalie
coat
bought her
just for Elena.
special fashion goggles and
I
fashion
love
science
this.
gloves.
Louboutin goggles.
Yeah.
They're like studded with like actual diamonds.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Tinted pink.
Cynthia's just like,
We can be
You know what, I'll
bankrolled,
take it,
but
sure.
it will be fashionable.
She's wearing the protective gear, so
It counts.
Roxy just doesn't like. I don't need protective gear. It's fine.
Sylvie is curious as to what's being built and whatnot. She just doesn't quite understand, and because I feel like fairy tech versus human tech is a little different as well. So like, she'll go in. I feel like she gets kicked out a lot too because she accidentally manipulates something that she really shouldn't touch.
There's like a designated
You
Sylvie timeout corner.
Yeah, there's a
very
Sylvie-
charmed one of the gadgets. That's amazing.
Well, I have the move to fairy charm gadgets.
Yes.
So like,
This is gonna get fun.
oh, man.
so I feel like there's just a distinct Sylvie sits here box in every lab.
Go to your corner. Okay.
Fair.
There might be in the auto body shop too. If Tony realizes what the fuck you're doing. Like, stop touching my things. Stop it.
It eventually happens.
Yeah.
All right. So for the protege playbook, I have two relationships I can define. One is you and another person teamed up a few times before the rest of you came together, and another is your mentor is cautious. They asked you to keep an eye on another person. I'm gonna say for keeping an eye on, probably wrote names down somewhere. Probably Sylvia, because since
Fair.
I don't know. So did you say that like did she tell people that the Wild Hunt has an interest in technological development, but not why? Or do we not know that they have an interest at all?
Well, she's been kind of cagey as to why the Wild Hunt have an interest, but I'm sure your mentor would have noticed her hanging around technological sites and stuff too.
Okay,
Sylvie's not exactly a subtle character.
fair.
She's
Base-
very recognizable and may or may not have complete control over her pheromones in certain cases. So
I will say, given Hecate's background, she has very strong reasons to be concerned with anyone looking into that kind of technological development. So she would probably have asked Cynthia to keep an eye on Sylvia because that's an area of concern.
Yeah.
And for having previously teamed up with somebody, just to explain the fact that Cynthia does know Joe's identity, I'm going to say that she's teamed up with Joe, and it was kind of like a teeth clench teamwork sort of situation. They don't necessarily get along, but they know how to work well together in like a crisis situation.
No,
Fair.
Blondie.
I feel like the two of us ran into each other on patrol and we're just like, oh.
You!
Damn it.
The clone Spider-Man meme.
Yes.
Except it's like a wolf and this tiny like 5 foot nothing chick. And like,
Oh, you're tiny too. We're small.
I mean, she's not as small as Roxy, but she's not big. Like,
We're small.
yeah. For what it's worth, her costume is like entirely covering head to toe. For those in the know, it's kind of like the original spoiler costume. She does have
Spectre of
gloves
death
that,
and a werewolf rolling up.
yeah. For what it's worth, though, her gloves work in a way where she can sort of like. It'd be fair to say she has like the tips of her fingers can like come out of the gloves, so she can touch somebody and steal their power real quick if she needs
They
to.
got like a slit in the tip, so if you like
Yeah.
press hard enough, it just kind of punches through.
Yeah,
Oh, I was imagining like those mittens that have like the.
that would be
Flippy
super
tops.
unwieldy for like.
Well, no, but like each individual finger.
Calls for
I'm
all
silly.
5.
Blondie.
So, are you? I just want to make sure that you have covered all your bases.
We're going to need to deal with influence after this, but that's all my relationship basis. Yes.
Gotcha. So for my relationships, the bull is actually defined by their relationships. The bull is the heart of the team. And so I have 2 people that have relationships, and then that has actual mechanics attached to them. So the I have a rival, and they tried to control me at a crucial moment. So Cynthia is Roxy's rival. They have kind of like a fun rivalry. I think that Cynthia is constantly trying to save Roxy from herself, and also like convince her that these people are after her, and Roxy's just kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, also Roxy just lives in that seems like a later problem, or like like she's just not the frontal brain, like the executive functioning, the pre-planning, thinking things through, not really there. So like I feel like Cynthia's constantly like worried for her. So, but also they both might do some underground motorcycle street racing and might have a little bit of like a competitive rivalry going on there.
Loser buys ice cream when we're done.
Yes. So it's not a mean rivalry. It's just kind of like a, So the control part I think is just Cynthia caring about Roxy and like, please
just
don't.
be aware of your surroundings.
Please stop wrecking things, and please don't reveal your identity. Please put a better mask. Like, what are you doing? Everybody knows that's you. Like, it's
Like,
very
I will
much
make
like
you a costume. Just please stop wearing your civilian clothing in the field.
yeah.
It's gonna get
Roxy-
destroyed, and then you're gonna be running around naked, and that's gonna be weird for everyone.
Tory logic, they won't recognize me with clothes on, so that's perfect.
There's like a billboard like advertising Roxy's a hero. It just has strategically placed lettering.
Yeah.
She's not wearing clothes.
Roxy normally just wears like black jeans and a like whatever top she found that day, and then whatever was clean, and then a leather jacket, and like a very like just like bought it at like Party City, if that existed in the 50s, mask, like
50s Party City.
yeah, like 50s Party
50s
City.
Party City.
Yeah. Just black mask, and like it's not like you're still like 4'10", sweetie. Like that's
I'm imagining instead of like a Party City mask, it's like a welder's mask.
it could be. She might have just picked up whatever. She's got like the goggles, like motorcycle goggles, and that's mask, right?
100%.
No one can see your eyes. It checks out.
Thing down. Just
Now Sin City, no
now
one can see your
I'm a
eyes.
superhero.
A plus. Excellent. So,
yeah.
who is the bull's love?
So I'm gonna go with Elena. Just because I didn't want to think too hard about it, and those were already made. That's what before. Anyways,
Last time everybody was pairing off for inexplicable reasons.
yeah, and I feel like there's already a good balance of like, I mean, because obviously Roxy has like the bro of my bro is my bro with Joe.
My bro Joe.
And Sylvie's
just everywhere. It's fine.
I know, like Roxy's like, oh, we're friends now. Like she's just really she's like the ignorance is bliss like type of like that's philosophy. Like she just doesn't like she's so happy because she just doesn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? Like she's just
Isn't
like,
she
embodiment
also
of ignorance is
occasionally living
bliss.
out of Cynthia's penthouse?
yeah, she likes everybody. She's just like, unless you do something to make her not like you, which would have to be like really, really, really bad, like locking
Like be a
her
lizard
into
man.
a cell and being a lizard man trying to attack her. Lizard man. That's her one hate in life. But the bull's rival and love can change it. Fluctuate constantly. So it can change.
It's great.
Do you want me to explain the mechanics? I think I'm the only one that gets actual like mechanics attached to my relationships.
I believe so in this situation.
Yeah. So I might just explain those now. So, because I have to pick a role for me to fulfill for my love and rival. So for my rival, okay. For my rival, I'm going to choose let's see. What did I have in here before?
I think you did for rival. I think you did enabler.
Enabler. That's
Oh, tracks.
that does track actually. So enabler. So when I provoke my rival, roll plus danger if I'm trying to provoke them to a rash or poorly thought out action. Yes, that's exactly what I picked because I want to. Yes. Because Cynthia might be the default adult and besides Tony, but he's not a superhero. Or at least not yet. Or if he is, I don't know about it. Him and Joe dress the same, so it's impossible to tell which superheroes.
That is how it works.
And they're both like
You dress the same, therefore you are the same person.
Logic.
It's impossible to tell which superhero is which. No, I'm just kidding. So anyways, then I chose enabler, and then I chose defender, I think. for love, and that's when you leap to defend your love or rival in battle, roll danger instead of savior to defend them. I think that's how that works, right? Yes.
Yeah, I was reading it, and I'm.
I can't tell if you choose one for each or if you choose.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
I feel like. Yeah.
I feel like you only choose one.
Yeah, that was
one
my
for both
impression.
or one for each.
One for both.
One for both.
I think.
So then I just choose enabler.
Okay.
I want you guys to make poor decisions.
It's not super clear.
It isn't.
Okay. Alrighty. So last thing we need to do is distribute influence, which is determined by all of your playbooks. So
The bull is easy to figure out. You give influence to your love and your rival, and that is it.
Yep. So Cynthia and Alina have influence over me.
I remember who's who. I wrote down hero names and not real names.
Oops. Echo
What do you-
and Easy Living.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little
It's
graph going.
also pinned in the Discord.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yes.
We doing it in the same particular order?
Nope. Just whenever you want to go.
As much as Joe hates it, I think Cynthia has influence over him. Because it's like, crap, she's like a professional hero, and like she's telling me off. And,
I've been
like,
doing this for a
She's
decade, buddy.
professional.
She's the coach. Oh, rough.
Terrible.
Rough.
But can your coach wear like stilettos? No. Well, I mean, maybe he can. I don't know.
Where in
Yeah,
fight?
as well as
I mean, I'm
Combat
pretty sure
stilettos.
Broadway kick lines are great training for football players.
Football,
so.
the game
It's true.
musical.
And then I think in a similar vein, I think Elena also has influence because like she almost looks like who Joe's like trying to aspire to be, like perfectly melding the superhero and the socialite and just like doing it effortlessly, and he's just like, oh, I wish it was that easy.
Yeah, so
Internally,
does she.
she's stressed.
Yeah.
I gotta go to
Yes.
5 parties with Natalie, but if something happens, I have to be able to leave. What's my excuse? But fortunately, Natalie's like, oh, she just had to. you know,
Sylvia also has
go.
probably learned how to help
What?
you in that situation.
What do you want?
Just say
And
something
make-
awkward, then everybody will be like, oh my god, and then you can just leave.
Blondie.
Why are you so friendly today? I'm not letting you on the desk. You're just gonna knock stuff over.
No, if Elena's
why
in
she's
a
the
really rough situation, Sylvia probably pumps up the pheromones to get people to do whatever she wants, and then it's like, okay, we gotta go.
Roxy would start a fire or wreck something. Oh, we all have to leave. The fire alarm went off. Shit.
I watched you hit the smoke.
That's why I'm not allowed at socialite events.
I have 2 ways to do influence. These people's opinions matter to me. I have 2 facades, happy and locked down. Where did that go? Yeah. If I have my happy facade up, I give influence to 3 teammates. And if I have the lockdown facade up, I give influence to 1 teammate. I don't know if I have to pick them immediately.
I
if
think if you
it's-
pick it at the outset, because we just
Yeah,
have
it's
starting influence and
situational.
Yeah.
changes as we
Yeah.
go along.
Yeah. That's my only.
So I think you like
influence.
choose one of those and then you assign influence based upon that option that you chose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my demeanor.
I
What do you
also
want?
have a demeanor.
No.
So if I'm acting haughty, I think I'm better than everyone and give no one influence. And if I'm cheerful, I'm thrilled to be in the situation and everyone has influence.
Nice.
Such a weird dichotomy.
Yep.
So are you haughty or cheerful?
Most of the time, I'm probably haughty.
Okay, so starting point, no one has influence over you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like that's a good starting point, though. We need that character growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like you guys right off the bat.
Why would I care about the opinions
Eventually.
of my pets? That's just weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm. All right.
I
I'm
care about your
protecting
opinions,
you.
love
That's
you.
my only job.
So
What's
thoughts on
Elena's-
happy or lockdown?
Yeah. What's Elena's demeanor?
Her probably to begin with, it's probably lockdown.
All right.
Okay.
Which
So who's the one
means-
person who has influence?
Who's
over
the
her?
lucky person?
Roxy or Sylvie.
Either or.
I guess it depends on who she's with at that current moment.
You got to pick a starting point.
I have to pick a starting point. We'll go
Yeah.
with Roxy.
Wow, we've just like completely isolated Valkyrie here.
It's fine. Well, Valkyrie,
A little
Well,
awkward.
she,
It's fine.
yeah, and she kind of isolates herself on top of everything else.
Look at this.
The wonderful thing about
Yeah.
Oops.
precious. The wonderful thing about influence is that you can give it out anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Okay, one
And
second.
who knows? I might be in love with Sylvie tomorrow. I don't know.
The pheromones could change too.
Oh god. Yeah, that's the other thing. There is.
That sounds like one of my weaknesses.
Oops.
Oops, you
Lovely.
smell nice.
All right, so Protege also has a demeanor, which is a choice between playful, where you give influence to 2 teammates, or business, where you give influence to no teammates. I was genuinely considering business for a while, but since we have one character who has no influence ties whatsoever, I think that'd probably be doubling down
Nope.
on that a little bit too much.
Blondie.
So I'm gonna go with playful, but exactly. Words are hard. Playful, but very annoyed by everybody around her
Yes.
because
Playful, but
nobody knows what they're
exasperating.
doing.
What are
Exasperated
you
is the
guys
word I was thinking
doing?
of.
You're snarky is what
Uh,
I'm hearing. You'll screw with us, but it's like in a playful fashion.
Oh
Kind of
yes,
loving,
no,
yeah.
yeah, that's pranks are a love language.
No.
They are a love language. That
Can't eat
matters.
that.
I'm gonna say that people who have influence over Cynthia. I'm gonna say as much as she also does not like it, probably Joe, because she's still annoyed by that one time when he told on her to her mom, and she's like, "I don't want to care what you think about me, but I think I do, and I hate that."
Hmm.
Aw.
Yes.
And for the other one, I think I'm gonna say Elena, because Elena was often at the same galas that Cynthia was, and Cynthia kind of like wanted a friend but couldn't figure out how to make it work until the
They
superheroing
just
thing.
also stood
Aw.
awkwardly near each other so they wouldn't have to talk to anybody else.
Eventually, once they figured out how to pull pranks on people without getting
Yeah.
caught, I think things worked out. Like Cynthia's go-to is probably telekinetically shifting the metal in people's utensils so they feel wrong but are visibly similar. He gets annoyed.
That's hilarious.
That is
It's so
great.
insidious. Like,
You need to start teaching Roxy how to pull pranks because she could move somebody's entire car to a different parking spot.
Oh, that yes. Hey, I mean, you just gotta find the cars that are illegally parked, and then we move them just to cause problems.
Yes.
Or you park people's cars that you don't like in illegal spots.
Let's move my dad's car
And
to
it's
somewhere
just-
that's not allowed.
Yeah.
Put it in front of a fire
Put it
hydrant.
in front of a fire hydrant so it gets towed.
Put the fire hydrant in front of the car.
Yes.
a
That might
huge
cause
gouge
problems,
in the
but
ground.
yes.
Yeah, It's just water spraying
I
everywhere.
love it. But since I didn't
I
actually
didn't understand the
expound on that earlier, Cynthia's dad is a city councilman who ran against allowing heroes in the city and was pretty successful. And her mom is the CEO of a company that does like financial consulting for other companies in the area.
Cool. Well, I think that covers everything. We all have influence and gone through our characters. Okay.
yeah,
Can we just
that covers it.
play now?
Yeah.
Okay. That a little bit longer before we actually get into the action, but I'm excited.
I am too.
I'm excited.
Looking forward to this.
This is an interesting crew.
Yeah,
You haven't seen anything yet.
it'll be fun.
Like, we've got a fairy alien, like wannabe superhero, a jock, a human cartoon character,
Yes.
and like a fake socialite all jammed into a room stopping crime.
Who might
Yeah.
actually harness the power of no. She might be a supernova. Who knows?
Power of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in comic book land. Super power of love is a real thing here.
It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Certainly one way to put it.
As with all things. But thank you all for joining us this evening.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to next week when we can finally kick things off. So
Yeah.
for now, have all of you have a good day and join our Discord.
Yes, please.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.